but I don't know her
okay, yeah.
name, her maiden name. No.
So let's go to when you're first dating my mother, Marlene.
I loved her.
What? Yeah. And where would you go? What would you do? What would be a typical date?
Uh, Dance, many times dance.
And
Uh,
like, where would
the
you go for
Palladium,
dancing?
and
What
other
do you pay, like
places.
10 cents and you
And
can dance all night, or what is it?
I don't remember
Okay.
that part of it, but I do know that we danced, and not only that, one time a neighbor right there, and now I'm saying Beverly Hills, which means it must be later, that the neighbor said, "Look, why don't you come to a square dance?" Okay, we'll go to a square dance. We went to a square dance, and then we went to square dance almost every night.
Yeah.
We would go. We would find one over here. We'd drive and go over there and drive and go over there, and we worked our way up into, from the beginning of square dancing through to a certain area. We didn't go past the area. This one was for blood. When you went up here, it was, boy, you don't better me not be out of step.
Right.
But the first three was casual, more casual.
Right.
And I enjoyed it quite a bit. I still have a shirt or two left
Right.
over.
So when you were dating, how soon until you started talking to each other about getting married?
Oh, that was a good question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not really sure about it. Just all of a sudden I'm married. Well,
Yeah. And you're married, and you're 20.
she's
19 and you're 21. Right?
no, before that she's a legal secretary,
What do you think?
and I'm a guy that's studying to be a real estate broker. I became a real estate salesman. There's a difference between a salesman and a broker, and I was a salesman. You have to be a salesman 2 years before you get your broker's license at that time.
Right.
And what did I think about what there?
What did you think about Marlene's being a legal secretary?
You mean my wife?
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Okay, but remember
Terrific.
when you first met
She was a
her?
very helpful person when it comes to doing stuff.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
so?
oh yeah. How so? When later when I owned any kind of property, anything I had done or anything I wanted to remember, she had it written down, and you could read her writing.
Yeah.
So and I could think about things and plan things, and she could help straighten it out.
Right.
And of course, she would break it, and I would fix it.
Uh-huh.
When it came to mechanical things,
Right. Right.
washing machines and dryers and so forth, tore them apart, rebuilt them.
Good partnership. You could fix the physical things. She could do the documents.
Yeah, a lot of that. She could help me with the documents. I could come up with a document, and she would help fine tune it, if you will.
Right.
I suppose I could have too, but it was so much easier if she could do it.
Right. Right.
And so forth.
So there you are. You get married. Suddenly you're married. You're 21. She's 19. You move
Yeah.
into the Janet Manor. Then what happens?
Well, eventually we decided to leave the Janet Manor and move to another Morris Frankel property in closer to.
Did you have kids yet or no?
West LA. No, not in the Janet Manor, no.
Okay.
I believe that the first child, you may know him, Michael Stein.
Right.
He was born when we were over at Shenandoah.
Okay.
These are 5 apartments. There's 4 2-bedrooms up front, and there's 1 bedroom over the full garages in the back, and David moved in up there.
And you were a real
Uncle
estate
David.
salesman at that point.
Yeah, I was a real estate salesman at the time.
And
yeah.
was
Although I've worked.
was Marlene at that point not working because she was
Once she was had a baby,
Right.
but you got to stop to find out the story. I have to tell the story of why we had or how we had kids.
yeah
You got to have that story. You've heard it before, but
Let's
you're going to
hear
hear it again.
yes
When we were first getting married, the doctor examined us for health and said, both of you are in pretty good shape. Okay. Now I want to let you know that my recommendation was that you don't even think children for 2 years. Just forget it. Enjoy your life. Do what you have to do. Earn, work, whatever it is. And 2 years later, if you still like each other, maybe you want to have some kids.
right
Okay. Apparently we did. Loved each other. And we decided to have kids. So we sat down. And if I'm telling this story, if somebody else told me, I'd say, well, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. But I was there. I was originating this story. I was the director on this story. So what happened was, she says, I said, do you want to have kids? She says, oh, yes, I want to have kids. That's your grandma. Yes, I want to have kids. Oh, good. Let's get started. I said, wait just a minute. Hold on here. I want to know a little bit more about what this entails. After all, you're now 23, you're 21, and I'm 23. And I don't want any kids past 30. 30 is the limit. No more kids after 30. She said, that's fine. I said, how many kids you want? She says, I don't know. What do you recommend? I said, well, I have a brother. I have a sister. You have a brother and a sister. And myself, I'll count myself in there, and it's 5. Why don't we have 5 kids? Great. I mean, she was enthusiastic. I said, let's get to bed. I said, wait just a minute here. Slow it down. I want to find out a little bit more. First of all, I don't want any kids past 30. So I got to find out from the doctor, first of all, how your health is going to be if we're going to have 5 kids. What do you think about that? So I asked the doctor. He says, well, can you add a couple of numbers I give you? I said, sure. Give me the numbers. First one is 9, and the other one is 6. Can you add those? I said, yeah, 15 months. He said, months. Those are months. I don't want to see anything less than that between babies. Nothing less, that's it. You got to wait 6 months, and you got to, like that. I said, fine. So then I said, I said to your grandma, I said, what do you want?
Mother.
Boys or girls? Your mother. She said, boys or girls? She said, well, I don't want so many girls. And so I said, well, how about 2 girls and 3 boys then? And we still got 5. And he says, yeah, that's fine. That's okay. That's good. I said, okay, good. We now know these children, by the way. At that point, we know these 5 kids. Grandma, my mother, she didn't know we had 5 kids we were going to have. Like this, 5. You know, she didn't understand what the story was at all. All she knows is they were happy we were having babies. A baby. So we had the first one, and Michael, and there we were.
What was that like?
At Shenandoah, I believe. And then we had a second child, 15 months to the day. Well, maybe not the exact day, but pretty darn close. Right. And it was a girl. Right. How about that? Boy and a girl. It's enough for most families.
Still in Shenandoah?
As far as I know, we're still in Shenandoah, yeah. 2. Then we had, about 17 months later, a little slower on the take there, we had somebody named Howard. And cute little kid, I'll tell you. They all were, actually. I love little kids like that. Vivian says, well, stop already. And just another child walks by. I say, look, you see that's a little guy there? Yeah. And so then we had Howard. And I can picture things because we have movies. I don't know if you've ever seen in the movies we have. I've got movies that show a lot what happened. Right. And anyway, he comes marching in one time, and he had a plastic pot on his head, and he's like this tall. And anyway, he was kind of a fumbling kind of guy a little bit, and it seemed like he didn't always understand things, because when he had the little thing going up the wall, well, I had a little thing, suction cups, and it would crawl up the wall, O-R-B-Y. No, not by Howard. It was a little Herbie climbing up the wall. And I thought that was so. I mean, little things like that, you know. Right. And then, I don't know, 17 months, 16 months, 18 months, we had our 4th child. And maybe you know, we named him James, but he's always been Jim or Jimmy. And then, lo and behold, and that makes 3 boys and 1 girl. And then along came Beverly exactly 10 days before I was 30. And that filled the order. And as I do to anybody, whether they're Jewish or Christian, I say, maybe I'd help. They like that idea. Right. I don't have that much belief. I'm happy it happened that way. I'm real pleased with the results, as it were. Right. But I don't know what makes it happen. I just know that we did, and we were able to do it.
Let's pause for a moment. We'll pause for a second. Okay, so we're now...
I did like this.
Yeah. We're now